Okay, this is lesson 2.11, which is absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from 0 to a number on the number line. So we'll look through a couple examples. Example number 1, the way that you would read this is two ways. Number 1, it's the absolute value of -4. However, what we want to refer to it as is the distance from -4 to 0. So if we look on a number line, the distance from -4 to 0, that's going to be 4 units. So the distance from -4 to 0 is 4. Therefore, the absolute value is 4. Looking at number 2, this says the distance from 6 to 0 is. We go over here, we look at 6. The distance from 6 to 0 is 6. So we can answer that question. Number 3, this says the distance from -15 to 0 is. So again, if we look on our number line, -15 is on the left, and it's going to be 15 units from 0. So the answer is 15. Last one, distance from 3.5 to 0, it's going to be 3.5 units. So the answer is 3.5. Now, looking more with variables, variables are a little bit different because we're not exactly sure where it's going to be. So number 5, we would read this the same way, except we refer to x as a number because we're not sure what that number is. So number 5, we read this as the distance from a number to 0 is 6. So it's telling us where it is. If we look on our number line, while there could be an x over here at +6, that's 6 units away. Could be a number over here at -6 because that's also 6 units away. So there's actually going to be two answers to this. X could equal -6 or x could equal +6. Again, because both of those are 6 units from 0. Same thing with x equals, absolute value of x equals 2. This says the distance from a number to 0 is 2. So there are two different locations for that. +2 is 2 units from 0, so we could be there. -2 is 2 units from 0, so it could be there. So again, there are two different answers that could make this true. X could be -2 or x could be +2. Same idea with the next one. This is 4.5 units away from 0. So 4.5 to the right or 4.5 to the left. The absolute value of x equals 4.5 means x could equal 4.5 or -4.5. The last one in this section says the distance from a number to 0 is -5. The distance from a number to 0 is -5. Can distance be negative? That doesn't really make sense, right? So the answer to this one is actually no solution. There is no way that we can have a location that's -5 units. Notice that all of these distances are always positive. Distance will always be positive. So how does this apply to algebra? Algebra can get a little bit tougher because you have problems that look like this. This says the distance from x plus 1 to 0 is 6. So this expression is 6 units away. This expression could either be at 6 or it could be at -6. So to solve for x, we actually have two different equations. X plus 1 equals -6 and x plus 1 equals +6. So we just have to solve both of these. Subtract 1 on both sides. X equals -7 and x equals 5. if we substitute x equals 5 or x equals negative 7 back in, we would get something that is 6 units from 0. Let's do this one more time. This says the distance from x plus 5 to 0 is 2. So x plus 5 is either over at positive 2 or x plus 5 is standing at negative 2. X plus 5 either equals 2 or x plus 5 equals negative 2. And we solve. X equals negative 3 or negative 7. The last thing I want to talk about before you close up shop is the standard form of an absolute value bar. So if we have an equation that has absolute value, we have to have absolute value equals a number, and that's it. So in order to do that, we first have to move this constant to the other side. Step 1, subtract 4. Now that we have this, we can split it up into two equations. 3x plus 6 equals negative 15, and 3x plus 6 equals positive 15. And then you would solve.